It's Doc Thompson on 700 WLW coming up at 12:06 with Willie on the Big Show, the latest on the Woodmer trial. He's going to be in here with me at 11:33, and we're going to run down some other angles of the trial that we haven't covered. But that'll be at 11:33, and I'll give Willie some foundation to start his show off at 12:06 today on 700 WLW. Reds Caravan rolling now. Mo Edgar joins me in studio with a bunch of the guys, the Reds Caravan.
Are we talking Social Security with these guys?
We're going to talk Social Security.
Great.
Actually, I'm hoping they'll bust out their checks. Let me take a look at FICA, what they're spending. That ain't no okay.
You know, if we Johnny Cueto just signed a big deal and Joey Votto just signed his big deal and if we had those guys, then we could get.
Then we could talk about that. All right, I understand.
These guys ain't hurting though.
All right, who all we got in the studio?
Todd. Sorry,
Go ahead.
guys.
No, introduce yourself.
Todd Frazier from Thompson, New Jersey.
Travis Wood from Bryan, Arkansas.
Dusty Baker from Sacramento, California, and soon to receive Social Security, maybe.
As long as you're not getting it after 2037, you'll be fine.
And Chris Welsh right here from Cincinnati, right down the road here.
How you
from the
doing, Chris?
studio.
And of course, we got Rosie in the studio as well. Not saying
She
anything.
can't talk
else.
yet.
Yeah.
Throwing you kisses, though, Doc.
Yeah, throwing kisses. And it's interesting. Oh, yeah, we got the webcam on as well. If you go to 700WLW.com, you can log on and take a look at all the guys and, of course, Rosie as well. Interesting, Sherry Rowland said she's a big fan of Rosie and wants to do what Rosie does.
Yeah,
Do what Rosie does.
They have fantasy camp where, I went 2 years ago, you go and you pretend like you're a big leaguer for a week. Mm-hmm. You could have Sherry go down and dress as Rosie Red and dance on top of the dugout at fantasy camp.
I like it.
It's a good idea.
I think we're in there. Very good.
Here's what I want to know. Now, you heard Todd mention Tom's River, New Jersey guy, former Rutgers player, was sitting courtside. First of all, sweet seats. Sitting courtside last night with Brandon Phillips. I think Devin Mesoraco was there. Drew Stubbs. As your boys took one on the chin to my Bearcats.
Yeah, that was embarrassing, man.
Rough, yeah.
It's a rebuilding year. That's all I can say.
It's been a 20-year rebuilding project for the Scarlet Knights, right?
Exactly, but we'll be around next
Who gave
year.
you the tickets? Courtside.
That's a secret, man. I can't tell you that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
All right, tell me about Reds Caravan.
Well, we go all through, actually we're on the northern leg of this caravan, and we're going to some towns that I'm looking forward to seeing. I haven't seen some of them yet. I don't think I've been to Athens. I've been to Columbus. Where else are we going, Chris?
We're going out to Athens, Ohio, where, of course, Ohio University. The Caravan is one of these things that the Reds have done for years and years, and it's gotten to the point now where there are 3 different legs of the Caravan. You're looking at the northern leg here, and we do media stops like we are here in the studio. We do public appearances at shopping malls where fans can get to meet the players, get autographs. There's always Q&A sessions where we go. It's turned into a big thing, and the reception that we get as we go around Reds country is just amazing. I've been on every different leg of the Caravan, and people are ready for baseball. I mean, there may be a few inches of snow on the ground outside, but when you see those Caravan buses rolling into town, and off comes Todd Frazier or Travis Wood or Brandon Phillips or Jay Bruce, those guys have been mainstays on the Caravan. You're only a few weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting, and that's really what it's all about.
But that is a great feeling, though, when you know that's coming. I mean, that's what keeps a lot of people going. Is you drive to work today on a gloomy day, and there's snow on the ground. You're like, yeah, here it comes.
I think it's really cool because, I think every team, and Chris, you've worked in other organizations, Dusty, you as well. Everybody has kind of a version of Reds Fest. This is taking a mini version of Reds Fest on the road. I don't know of many other organizations that do something like you guys are about to embark on.
Well, I was in a couple of different organizations. We did it, years ago with the Dodgers, and our area was so broad, we just had to go around L.A.
Oh, a couple of blocks, get off the bus again. Right?
Yeah, that took weeks, and then we had the same thing in San Francisco. We went to parts of Northern California, some of the remote parts that where the majority of our fan base was. And we did the same thing in Chicago. We went basically around the Chicago area, and I think almost every organization has their version of Reds Fest, and the Caravan. I just don't think that everybody covers the area, that we cover.
Well, the nice thing is, too, you're getting out in an area where, maybe you got kids that grow up and don't have an opportunity or, a little more modest means or something to get out and meet these guys, and you're taking it to them.
Well, I wish we'd have had something like this when I was a kid because I grew up in Southern Cal, and I would have
Who'd you want to see?
Well, I wanted to see. Well, at that time, I grew up a Dodger fan, and man, I'd have done anything to see Tommy Davis and Sandy Koufax, and some of those guys. And I ended up wearing Tommy Davis's number 12, which I wear now. And I ended up playing his position, batting in the same part of the lineup he was in, and so that meant everything to me to see Tommy Davis.
Do you guys think about that? You think about it when you get off that you were these kids once watching the players? That cross your mind?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be amazing for a kid, you know, and then you get to do that as well and say, hey, I'm the player now.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing better, you know, seeing it as you grow up, and then the next thing you know, you're that player for the kids that you were. It's great.
Yeah, it's just it's a beautiful thing because, like Dusty said, you know, I wish I saw Mo Vaughn back in the day. You
Yeah.
know, it was my favorite player.
That was
I a
your-
Red Sox fan growing up, you know, out of all people. But it's great to you know, see what transpires. Definitely.
This has to be pretty grueling for you guys. You're on the bus. It's got to be rough for you there, right? They're very serious, very pious.
Hey, yeah, see our bus. Our bus is pretty nice.
Buses have come a long way, Doc. I can tell you that much.
Well, the grueling part for me was getting here. You know, because coming from California, you know, there's no direct flights hardly unless I go to San Francisco to get to Cincinnati. But I live in Sacramento. It was foggy yesterday, so they canceled the flights, and I was trying to figure out a way to get here, and so I ended up having to go through Atlanta and Atlanta to here.
Is this fun for you guys, though, as you roll around?
Oh, yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fun seeing the guys. You know, I get to pat them on the stomach, see who's been working, see who hasn't been working. And,
Yeah, that part I'm sure isn't fun for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Dusty, let's talk about the offseason now. The core of a 91-win team is intact. You bring almost everybody back. You've added some parts like Edgar Renteria. Obviously, I think you guys would have rather had Arthur Rhodes come back. That didn't work out. Give me kind of an assessment of the team heading into spring training in a couple of
I
weeks.
tell you, I mean, Arthur was a big part of our team, and you know, both sides just couldn't come to an agreement. You know, I mean, that hurts us not having Arthur, but hopefully somebody can take Arthur's place and pitch as well as he has. You know, I'm just glad that we kept most of the team together, which is very tough in modern baseball. And, you know, we kept all of our young guys. Well, a lot of our young guys going to be here for the next 3 or 4 years. As you see the contracts that were signed. And I think that gives a lot of motivation to the young guys that are here that are going to be in that position. You know, I'm sitting next to Travis Wood here, and I'm sure, I mean, he's like, you know, full of motivation to get to that point, especially the fact he just had a baby. And, you know, he's trying to get to that.
You look great after having the baby.
Thank you.
And,
Tremendous.
Oh, yeah. And Todd Frazier, you know, is in a position to make the team. And, you know, he's played with some of these guys, and it gives added motivation when you come up with these guys. You see, you know, what happens when you have a couple good years. You see where you can get to, and you want to remain with these guys. And I think that's tremendous motivation to the guys, you know, that are coming up. And it makes my job easier, and it's an easier sell, I think, this year than it was the year before and the year before. We're trying to build this thing to say, hey, boys, you know, we can win. We got a good team. We got a good nucleus. And you see what happens with hard work. And, you know, once you achieve something, then I think it becomes easier to achieve it, even though the league's shooting at you. And even though, you know, you realize some of the perils that are in front of you, at the same time, the teams that are tremendous confidence high.
You know, you talked about the contracts, and one of the things that stuck out when Jay Bruce talked about his contract extension, and it was brought up by a couple of people that asked him the question of being somebody who came up through the organization, you had some success, obviously a huge August and September, culminated with the clinching home run late in September against the Houston Astros, and a guy who comes through the organization gets rewarded financially. There's a trickle-down effect that everybody, like the Todd Fraziers, the Travis Woods, they get to see you do things the right way, you have some success, you take care of your business on and off the field, the organization's going to take care of you.
Well, and they also get to see the fact that, you know, they know that I'm going to stick with them.
Yeah.
You know, because there are a lot of people last year wanted Jay Bruce and wanted, you know, Drew Stubbs sent out of here back to the minor leagues someplace. And you have to, you know, give these young guys a chance. And they see if you're going to give them opportunity, and they see that, you know, the rewards of that. And the thing that I'm going to tell them in spring training is once you get to that point, and once you get paid, you almost revert back to the point of being an amateur, where you're not worried about the contract. You know, you're playing just for the love of the game again, and it's you know, it's rewarding just to go out there and win and compete without having to worry about a contract.
We need a quick break in here, and then we'll come back and also take a couple more calls. If you've got a question, comment for the guys, 513-749-7800. The big one, it's Doc Thompson, Moeg.
Phone call, please.
Doc Thompson, 700 WLW at the Reds Caravan in studio. Log on to 700WLW.com. And you can check it out yourself. Get to a couple of quick calls here. William, Hyde Park, you're on the big one.
Yes, my question is for Dusty.
Yep.
Okay, Dusty, listen, first of all, I want to congratulate you on that past season. I thought you should have been the manager of the year.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I actually thought that you didn't get enough support here in the city towards that end. My question for you pertaining to the players, You got Fred Lewis in, and I was wondering how you were going to deal with whether you were platooning or how you're going to deal with Drew Stubbs at leadoff spot. I just want some insight on how you're looking forward to handling that.
Well, I'm looking for a little insight myself, William. Number one, I don't know that much about Fred up close and personal, just what I've seen from afar. We also have Jeremy Hamida in the mix as well, I think, out there. And so spring training is going to, sort of determine what we do and who we do it with. As far as Drew Stubbs in the leadoff spot, well, I haven't really made a decision on that either. It depends on what I see again in spring training. Depends on what I need. Depends on how Brandon Phillips looks. We do have some possibilities and some options, and we just got to see how things work out before we make a decision.
You've also got a shortstop situation that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to with Renteria and Paul Giannis. Chris Welsh, I want to ask you, we're into the Caravan, and you guys are going to hit all these stops. I think one of the highlights of the entire couple of days is Saturday, Great American Ballpark, Select a Seat event. This looks like it should be fun.
No, really, it's one of the coolest things the Reds do in the offseason. They invite fans to come down. If you're thinking about buying any kind of a season ticket package, any of the many packages that they have, you'll be able to come down Saturday. The doors open at 9:30 at the stadium. There'll be people waving you in so you know where to go. It's held up in the Champions Club room, which is a pretty cool spot.
Nice.
And you'll be able to go out and actually sit in the seats and kind of test them out to say, this is a good view. I like it here. I don't like it there. And you'll be able to meet Jay Bruce, and Walt Jocketty will be there. Phil Castellini will be there. So at 9:30 down at the stadium, Great American Ballpark, you'll be able to select your seat. So if you're willing to get a 20-game plan out of it, you'll get an autograph as well. So Jay Bruce will be there, Walt Jocketty, and also Phil Castellini. So it's a pretty cool thing. I've been down there a few years when they've done that, and people really love it. And, if you're like me, if you look at a diagram of a stadium, you say, well, maybe I could sit up there, but you're really not knowing what it looks like until you sit in it.
Yeah.
This is your chance to do that this Saturday.
I would encourage people, right field moon deck. That's where my seats are,
Yeah.
section 141.
No, then they have to sit by you.
No, but you also get to yell at the opposing right fielder.
Well, that's great.
And the guys in the other bullpen. It's awesome.
Yeah, but you know what? Of all the home run balls that are hit up there in right field, that's not a bad place to collect souvenirs either.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. All those lefties. Absolutely.
So Mo mentioned fantasy camp. What do you guys think about? Is that silly? If you're a ball player, do you think, oh, look at these middle-aged people coming out, the wannabe?
No, I think it's great for him. Get out of the house a little bit and head down to Florida, get in that warm weather, and enjoy the game of baseball for sure.
What do you think, Travis?
I mean, to each its own. If they want to go down there and have a good time, some people just like reverting back and having a good time.
Is that something you guys would do if you weren't in the positions you're in now? Would you ever do it for another sport if people weren't like, all right, look at him here?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know. It'd have to be a quick decision to do it, but
all right.
We'll see.
You know
I
why
might
it's
do
awesome?
basketball.
You might do basketball? Okay.
Yeah,
why
I've
it's
been to a
awesome?
couple fantasy camps, and they're pretty neat actually. I mean, you meet a lot of good guys, a lot of business guys,
Yeah.
a lot of guys that were former players or frustrated players, and the thing about it is the only thing I say is train before you go. 'Cause I see,
Stretch it out.
I see a bunch of injuries, man, down there.
The reason it's awesome is because I went to fantasy camp and got a hit off Chris Welsh. There.
That's a long list of people, man.
He's added you to the list, right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I think we're thinking about doing 700 WLW fantasy camp. So if you guys want to come in and be a talk show host for a day, I think you could probably.
Todd Frazier
would love that.
that.
Would you do it?
I dream of doing
Travis's
something like
answers
that.
be a little short though.
I mean, come on, I'm not a wordsmith. I just sit here. I answer the questions directly, and then we move on.
No, it's fine. All right, Reds Caravan, the northern leg of this trip. We've got Athens coming up Thursday. That would be today. You got Marietta tomorrow. Saturday, you got Dayton at the National Museum, USAF. Then Lima, the Lima Mall. And then in Columbus at Polaris Fashion Place. That's where you guys are heading. We've also got the Southern Tour. That's going to be Charleston, West Virginia, Ashland, Kentucky, Bowling Green, and then Lexington. And the Western leg will be Louisville, Bloomington, Indianapolis, Muncie, and then back in Hamilton, Ohio.
And select a seat event at Great American Ballpark on Saturday.
All right, take a quick break, come back, get some more calls at the Reds Caravan, Doc and Mo at 700 W. It's Doc Mo and the Reds Caravan on the big one, 700 WLW. All right, Chris. Sherry Rowland was telling me about a situation that almost got ugly over pickles. that you refused to share a pickle recipe on
Boy,
the air once upon a
I
time.
thought what is said on the air here, but in the break,
No.
it stays. It's like Vegas, no?
Unless you coded ahead of time, I'm sorry. Gloves are off.
Well, I was on the air years ago with Marilyn Harris, who,
On
a
our
wonderful
sister
cook
station,
and great radio personality, too. I was invited on to talk about my recipe about pickles, and I told her about it, and she tasted them, and she put out a big spread, and then she wanted the recipe, and I said, I'm sorry, Marilyn, I can't do it. And it got kind of feisty from then on.
She doesn't play when it comes to recipes.
I've never had that kind of confrontation in a TV booth, so I'm happy about that.
So your secret recipe is still safe?
It is still safe.
I think that's a great idea for the Caravan.
You do
Chris
the Reds
Welsh,
cook?
Chris Welsh hands out pickles.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Maybe for the clubhouse.
It's short notice this year.
You know what? I have brought them down to the clubhouse before, and they've gone over pretty big. I'll bring some down again this year.
Guys, have you actually had them? We'll let them be the judge if they went over well.
No, it's the first time I've heard it. I like that.
They were holding out on you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put a good winning streak together, and you guys will get
No,
the
I
ring.
wouldn't hear it. I wouldn't hear it, I don't think, when you hand it, because I love pickles.
Yeah. And you guys cook?
Yeah, I cook.
What do you like to cook?
I don't know about everything. Mexican food, Italian
everything?
food, soul
Yeah.
food. Yeah, about everything.
There you, Trav.
I'm a breakfast guy, so I'm up in the morning early cooking the eggs and bacon, some biscuits, gravy.
Yeah.
That's about all.
Let me hear this one.
I don't cook.
Microwavable.
Do you have somebody that cooks for you? That's all right, though. That's
it's-
Fast food and microwaves.
Hopefully, mom's still making the secret Rice Krispie chicken. But,
okay.
She's got some recipes that she doesn't tell anybody neither.
Yeah. You going to make
Because
this
Todd
team
don't
this
want to
year?
know.
Oh, I'm gonna try.
Yeah?
I'm gonna try for sure.
Where are they going to put you?
That's a good question.
Dusty, where are you going to put them?
Hey, man, wherever you can play. I mean, that's what we're grooming him for. And the thing about it is, it's up to him. I give everybody opportunity, to play, hopefully in spring training, and hopefully the numbers work out. And if not in spring training, then something always happens during the course of the year. But the main thing is young guys got to play, and you got to give them opportunity to play and show what they can do.
What's the pressure like for that? Is that getting in your head?
No, not really. It's just like any other situation, honestly. It's a job. You're trying to win a job, and and it's baseball. It's something you've been playing your whole life. So I mean, ultimately you're fighting for a spot, and it's your career. But at the same time, you can play. So I know I'm going to get to that spot one time, and it's just a matter of time, I think.
Is it easy to shake off? You have a bad outing, a bad day? Because I know you come in here, and it's not unsimilar to what Mo and I do. We try to put on good shows, and we're in competition all the time. We got to get ratings and stuff like that, and you grow as a talent. But, we beat ourselves up at times. I mean, and you carry that home all night.
Yeah, well, we play 142, 162 games.
So you're back in it pretty quick.
It's sun comes up tomorrow, basically.
Yeah, you got to let it go, or else the next day it's going to eat you up, and you're going to play bad again. The faster you let it go, the better you're going to play. And that's in everything.
You were lights out in spring training last year, didn't make the team, wasn't on the opening day roster. Now you came up and you almost threw a perfect game against the Philadelphia Phillies in your second start. Different mindset heading to Goodyear this year?
I mean, I've taken the same mindset to every game, to every practice, to everything. You go out and give it your all, and put in the work in the off season, get yourself ready, be as prepared as you can every fifth day, and go out and give your team a chance to win. So I'm just going into it, with a little bit more confidence, and a little bit more experience, so I'll be able to attack the hitters in a different way that I think now that I've been up there for a little bit. But, yeah, you just take it each day at a time, and I'll go out there and give it everything. Doc,
an awesome 2010, and it'd be remiss if I didn't mention, Chris talked about the Select a Seat event on Saturday. A part of that, the home run ball, Jay Bruce hit against the Astros, he is going to deliver that to the Reds Hall of Fame.
Oh,
They're
cool.
putting together a 2010 exhibit at the Hall this year. So part of the event on Saturday, he'll have the ball. Now, if I'm Jay, I'm keeping that thing. Frankly, I'm probably going to sell it.
Yeah, it would have already
he's
been
going to
sold
deliver
if
it
it
to
were
the Hall
me.
of Fame on Saturday, part of the Select a Seat event, and cool exhibit this year at the Hall of Fame to look back to last year's National League Central Division Championship team.
All right, guys, I appreciate you coming in today. Reds Caravan. Next stop, Athens, Ohio, the Market on State, and that's at 6:30 tonight.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys, and good luck this season. It's Doc Thompson, home of the Reds, 700 WLW.